We will now move on to our Code Enforcement Department update.
Good evening once again. Roel Bertrand, Code Enforcement Supervisor. Today we'll be giving an update on our first quarter update. With this, I'm going to turn it over to our Senior Officer Parker, and he'll give you our update. Take it away.
All right. Hello, my name is John Parker, the Senior Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Wildomar, and this is our first quarter report. Oops. So first quarter action items and goals, identifying new procedures and protocols to equip our department with the tools we need to succeed. So when we first got here in early July, we had to identify what needs there were for our department. One of those needs was the need for a new code enforcement data entry system for our code enforcement cases. So we went ahead and we partnered with Comcate. So Comcate is a new upgraded system for citizens and staff. It provides citizens and staff a modern and refreshing code enforcement experience. So these were some of the project goals we had in mind when coming up with the software program. Overall, when us staff go into the new system, everything we need for our code enforcement information is there. The property owner information, the location, violations, our notes, our photos, our notices, everything we need is all in one, and it's a greater user experience for us. For the citizens, it's no longer going to be a difficult username, password, login to try to do a report. It's going to be an easy, you click on a link, you're just going to put in the violation, the location, and you're pretty much done. If you want to know information from us, then you would leave your email or a phone number, and then we can go ahead and communicate with you on the progress. So tools for success. So this has field capability. So before, with the old system, we were stuck at our desk. We weren't able to bring that system out into the field. We now can bring the new system in the field to do our case notes on mobile phones or tablets. It has GIS case mapping tools, so it will route out our map for us so we know exactly where we're going. We can upload unlimited photos into our cases. It has inspections management, so once you start getting into the hundreds of cases, it starts getting difficult to figure out which follow-ups you have. This tells you what follow-ups you have every single day. And it has more tools for citizens and staff, so when the citizens go ahead and put in a complaint, me, the officer, I can go ahead and write a personalized message to you, letting you know what the status of that complaint was. So it'll also have graphing capability. So the next presentations we have, we'll be able to have graphing tools to show you how many cases were open per month, how many notices were sent, how many cases were closed. Anything you need to know graph-wise, this new system will do that. So on top of that, we realized Wildomar did have a contract with Data Ticket, but we did not have any handheld ticket writers. As any good parking control officer will tell you, the longer you're behind a vehicle, the more danger you're putting yourself into. So now instead of writing paper tickets that takes minutes, we're going to write tickets in seconds. So here about mid-November, we should be getting new handheld systems to help us with that. So these are some of the ticket capabilities. So as soon as we write a citation, that data is entered in automatically to the system. It doesn't have to wait for us to go back to the office to input it. We could write citations using our voice. We can take photos of vehicles, and that information will automatically get put into the handheld ticket writer. It'll have immediate payment options, so the citizens can go ahead and contest citations or pay the citations immediately. They don't have to wait. It has Scofflaw information, so we'll know which vehicles have unpaid parking tickets. We can look up citation history. We could do electronic chalking. A lot of people don't like their vehicles chalked, so we could take electronic photo of it and it will print out on your citation. We have voice recordings and pictures, so we could take as many photos of the violation as we want. It has GPS, so it'll tell us what our location is, where we are, and it'll input that into the handheld. And it has issuance mapping, which the handheld software can track the issuance of citations and display that in map format to understand what types of violations are being issued and where they're being issued. So, having the correct equipment and tools will allow our department to provide the citizens of Wildomar the high level of service they have been expecting. So, on top of creating an entire department, we did actually have time ago do some code enforcement work. So these are some of the examples of what we did. We had an abandoned vehicle that had trash. We went ahead, posted a notice on the vehicle. We contacted the registered owner, and that vehicle and trash was removed.
Was that right there on Palomar?
That is correct. Yeah. We had graffiti over here, just right behind the Krav Maga. Contacted the property management company. They went out, covered out the graffiti. We had trash and construction debris on a property after a notice of violation was issued. The property owner hired a contractor, and all trash and debris was removed. We had high weeds on a lot, and after a phone call and a notice, the property owner went ahead and abated all the weeds on their property. We had a dilapidated substandard structure that was open and accessible, posing a danger to the citizens. After a phone call and a notice of violation, that structure was demolished and removed, no longer posing a threat to our citizens. We had an illegal cannabis operation. We had indoor cannabis plants and outdoor cannabis plants in a greenhouse structure. Sheriff's Department removed all the plants, and our department is working on correcting all the code violations at this property. We had another illegal cannabis operation. There was a large outdoor grow in the rear yard, and cannabis plants were being dried out inside of Connex boxes. Riverside Sheriffs went ahead, removed all the plants, and we went ahead and worked with the property owner, correcting all the code violations at this location. We had a close encounter. This was our welcome to Wildomar moment when we first started here. Pretty much we were working with swag, trying to offer services to this homeless individual, when without notice he rushed our vehicle, broke through our window, struck me personally in the face.
You okay?
I'm okay. So he is still in jail from that incident, which happened back in July. So that's one less dangerous person on our streets, which is good.
Way to take one for the team, man. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So new relationships. We built relationships with Riverside County Sheriff, with the cannabis operations, homeless, working parking with them.
And now you bring them with you when you get
That's right. That's right. Swag for our homeless outreach. Animal Friends of the Valley have assisted us removing animals in need. Today we actually met with Firehouse 61 with the captains over there and the new fire inspectors, so we built relationships with them. We had meetings with the Lake Elsinore Code Enforcement Department, so we are building a lot of new relationships. Brands for success. So if you want to be taken seriously, you have to look professional. So we had to come up with what our brand would be. So as you see what I'm wearing today, we have the badge on our shirts, the name tag. When we have our vest, it'll say Code Enforcement with the badge. And we've been getting a lot of positive comments from the citizens. There's no guessing game of who we are, so that this has been working out for us.
Good job.
Power of presence. So the city of Wildomar really hasn't had a presence in the city. So now with our vehicles, we have magnets that say City of Wildomar. We put on our vehicles. We're driving around the neighborhoods doing our code enforcement work, and now we're giving some sort of peace of mind to the citizens that there is somebody from the city patrolling their neighborhoods. And then future projects. One of these future projects is no more a future project, so we do now have DMV services, so we could run vehicles to see if they're stolen, check for registered owner information, and this was important to move on to. The next future project was to have the ability to tow vehicles. So we don't want to have to rely on the Sheriff's Department all the time. We want to be self-sufficient and have the ability to tow our own vehicles. And there's a good program called the Abandoned Vehicle Abatement Program, which will allow you to remove inoperable vehicles off of private property and public property and get reimbursed by the county. So we're looking into that, and that's our future project.
Does that include RVs?
RVs are tricky, yeah, because they cost more to remove, but we will get reimbursed as long as there's an engine in the vehicle. It counts.
Okay.
So this is the code enforcement mission statement. We had to find out what statement would define who we are as a department. I'm not going to read this whole thing, but I want to sum it up and say our department wants compliance without enforcement. We want the citizens of Wildomar to work with us because we will work with you. And that concludes my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much.